1, 2, 3. So I'm recording this once again. I've tried it several times, but this is a tough topic and I keep rewording it and saying it differently. Hopefully this is the one that will go well. So thank you so much for joining me for another short devotional. This one is coming from the book of 1 Kings chapter 18. I am continuing. I've been studying the story of Elijah. I've been posting it on my blog, Pr.Marlon.com. There's probably going to be a link below on the video or in my profile, depending on where you're watching this video. So anyway, let me read the verse to you and then we're going to talk about it. It says in 1 Kings chapter 18 verse 17, says, "Then it happened when Ahab," this is the king, "saw Elijah, a prophet, that Ahab said to him, 'Is that you, O troubler of Israel?'" So what got me thinking about this is, there's this term that I've heard more and more recently. I had never heard it before. It's called gaslighting. And I'll let you Google it and look it up. But the idea, I guess, what I take from it is someone trying to mess with your sense of reality, right? And what's right and what's wrong. So here in this case, in this story, in a quick summary, King Ahab had been following other gods and encouraging the people to do likewise, him and his wife Jezebel. And because they have moved away from God to worship Baal and these other gods, they're supposed to provide rain and the crops and everything that they need. God said, okay, if you want to follow them. And trusting them to provide you with the rain, I won't do it anymore. So essentially it hasn't rained for 3.5 years. Elijah was the one who proclaimed the drought. He was only a messenger, only sharing this message from God to the king. Now the king accuses him of being the cause of the trouble. So when thinking about this, here's what's been on my mind. What if, right? There's a possibility. What if, as we have followed our desires, right, our selfish desires, sometimes we hurt people in order to advance, thinking that it will help our cause. Sometimes we say some mean jokes that shouldn't be said, and we sort of avoid certain people because they're in this group or in that group, or anyway, we do these things. They're not nice and things they're not in accordance with the will of God, right? We're not completely honest. We're not completely loving. We don't want to forgive, and we do. And in doing these things, we find ourselves suffering and causing suffering to the ones that we love. There is a tendency that when someone shares with us that we're in the wrong and we shouldn't be doing these things, that we want to accuse them of being the ones causing the trouble. When I am the one who's been walking away from God, been not living according to God's will for my life, and then I accuse that person of causing the trouble. And if you flip that, it could be that you're the person trying to help others. You see someone in a relationship and you say, this is not a good relationship for you. This other person that you're with, it's not ideal. This is abusive. This is not healthy. And then they accuse you of being the one causing the trouble when you're really only trying to help. So what I see here, this gaslighting, right? This thing of accusing someone who's trying to help you really of being the one who's causing the problem. This is tricky. This is why I've recorded this thing, I think 3 or 4 times now, trying to get the words just right. And so I guess the lesson that I want to take away from this verse, and I encourage you to read the whole story. Read 1 Kings chapter 17, chapter 18. I think it goes on to chapter 19, but this story it's really amazing. I have some blog posts that go deeper into it. But just this verse, it just goes to show that it's important to spend time figuring out what is the right thing, what is the truth, because emotionally we can get caught up and sort of lose sight of that. If you're searching, I would encourage you to look at the Bible. Now, for me, this has been incredibly helpful because people still do. They'll twist the Bible, they'll make it say things that it doesn't really, and they'll end up using it as a tool to really advance their personal agenda. How can you figure that out? When you start reading the Bible for yourself, it gets easier. And also, don't dismiss it. Be careful with people who are accusing it of being the cause of the pain and the suffering. Maybe the Bible is kind of like Elijah. It's revealing to us the will of God. It's our rebellions against that will that has caused the suffering. And we sometimes throw the baby out with the bathwater. By this, I mean we throw out the Bible because of people in our lives or in the media who have misused it to advance their agenda. So in trying to summarize all this, it's a big topic. I would encourage you to read it for yourself. I would encourage you to spend time thinking and reflecting on what really is the cause of the problem. And I would say usually it's following our own selfish will as opposed to the will of God. And then, let's talk about this. I'd love some comments below of your thoughts on this. And if you're the one, trying to help people and you get in trouble and accused of being the troublemaker, hang in there. And if you're the one who has accused people who have tried to help you as being the troublemakers, maybe to think about this a little bit more. I know I need to. There's people that I've sort of pushed away or been upset with, and later in deeper reflection, I realized I was the one that was in the wrong. So anyway, I guess I just wanted to challenge you with these questions. I love to hear your comments below. I love to encourage you to read the Bible for yourself. Check out my blog for a little bit more on these stories, and my podcast as well. I have longer descriptions on this. But just this idea of gaslighting and that being in the Bible, is the Bible the friend or the enemy? What is really causing the problem? I think these are good questions to think about. I'd love to talk to you further about it. You can message me, leave a comment in the video, and let's continue this conversation. Until next time, may God bless you.